So I was contemplating making 3 different videos, but I'm just going to condense these all into one video for now. Uh, the first subject I want to touch on, or really ask or throw out there, is this whole December 21st thing. And then after that, I might not even touch on that first. Either way, we'll see how it goes. After that, I want to slightly touch on Jordan Peterson and Morgue and Hyperionism. Now, Morgue and Hyperionism, I'm going to make a more detailed video on. Jordan Peterson, I think I can maybe wrap up into this, but I probably will do another video just to add to a series where I want to point out to people that they should not, that there's a difference in looking up to someone, putting them on a pedestal thinking they have all the answers, and trying to show holes in, not to be intentionally saying, well, they're wrong, but just to show you where there's flaws in what they say. So, yeah, I guess we'll go to December 21st. Originally, if you guys remember back in 2012, there was this whole thing that December 21st, the world was coming to an end, and uh, things of this nature, supposedly predicted by the Mayan calendar. And I guess as you could see, or maybe it didn't happen. Some people claim that they think we switched timelines. Some people think I've heard different theories, but I truly do think something's going to happen December 21st. I just do not know what it could be. I'm not necessarily thinking it's going to be the end of the world. If anything, it would be the beginnings of a new world, a better world. Same world, just reborn, better. Now, this is one of those things where I want it to be true. So I'm having faith that it will be true. And maybe that's not the absolute case. Maybe just, a few things will change for the better. But also, there's a part of me that's like, man, how many times have you heard stuff like this? And there's nothing that has came of it. So, if you guys have any deeper insight into that, it'd be awesome to hear. So, really, what the hell is going to happen December 21st? Supposedly, rebirth, whatever you think. I've heard so many different things, and I don't even like using these terms, but I'm just going to say it. Ascension into 5D, which you're really not going to go anywhere. You're still going to be here. It's just different mindset. People will see things more clearly and come together more united to make the community and the world as a whole better. So I'm really hoping that is the case in some form or the other. And then let's get into. I want to point out things that I like and think that are good about what Jordan Peterson, and I know this is a weird combination, Jordan Peterson, Morgue, and this whole December 21st thing, but it's just things that I was thinking of and wanted to get there. Plus, I was watching Jordan Peterson earlier. So Jordan Peterson, I think, is a great person. I think you can learn a lot from him. I think he gives you sound advice, I'll make more videos going deeper into these guys. I'm just going to throw this out there just for a minute, just to try to put Jordan Peterson in a nutshell real easily before going deeper into it. Pretty much, he reminds me of a mixture of Jung, Nietzsche, and himself. It's like he has comprised things that Nietzsche put out there, that Dostoevsky's put out there, that Jung's put out there, and he has spent a lot of time trying to think these things through for himself, rationalize it, and then given his outlook on it. And he says some very fascinating things, and the reason I started taking him a lot more seriously is because if you listen to the details about what he says and the things he says, it'll strike a chord with you if you really understand what he's saying in the slight ways, because it's very slight the way he says it. It's almost like he's afraid to put what he really thinks out there because he cares too deeply about what people think, and he thinks. For an example, so I'll give you some examples here. He has pretty much said psychedelics would be a great thing if used properly, but he also backslides on that due to his I guess, his stature and the way he wants to be perceived. So that's kind of disheartening. And he's made certain comments about your psyche being split into two. Now, if you've had any experience with the things I've talked about, you will understand what is happening there, what he's pointing towards. And he talks about how you need to let the parts of you that is no longer serving you or serving the world a good purpose needs to burn off, and then he explains how painful that is. And again, if you know what I'm talking about and you watch my other videos, you'll see what he's pointing towards. And he also made a comment one time that again struck a chord. He said, in good ways, these are all good ways, he said it's very painful to be awake. Now, I do agree with that at first. It is very painful, but it turns out beautiful. So all these things Peterson does and says, he tells you how to be a better person. He tells you how to go out here and the things you should do in the world. He tells you, and he doesn't sugarcoat it for you either. He just gets straight to the point, which I like. The only flaw with Jordan Peterson, in my humble opinion, is one, and this is going to be a flaw with a lot of people: they do not take their own advice. Now, that does not mean that you cannot gain knowledge from them and take their advice, because it doesn't matter what that person really does. It's just, is the advice sound that they give? And with Peterson, it is. But the two major flaws I see in him is he doesn't take his own advice. Well, there's three flaws, actually. He doesn't take his own advice. He thinks that intellect is the most important thing. He overanalyzes everything. I do too, so I have no room to talk here, but I'm just saying I see a flaw within myself too by pointing this out. He overanalyzes everything to death, and I feel like he spends a lot of time in his own head contemplating things that really he should be able to look past. I don't think he's got to the bigger questions of life yet. He's stuck on God, and there's bigger questions than just God. Way bigger questions. This should be answered. Need to be answered. And the third thing is, he believes wholeheartedly that life is suffering, and there's no way around it. Life is suffering, and that is absolutely not the case. Life is a miracle. It's a miracle. It's just a miracle that you're here doing this, that we're here doing this, that I'm able to come to you in a form, speak language, move my body without thinking, speak words off the top of my head that flow naturally. I don't have to think about them to make it happen, and that I can record it on a device, upload it to a site, and then it gets broadcasted all over the world. That's a miracle. And just not that. I mean, look around. Look at the trees. Look at the sky. Look at the grass. Look at other people. Just look at everything and how beautiful it is. If you think that's suffering, I don't know what to tell you. The problem is, life can be suffering, and for most people, life is suffering. But you can overcome that. But the way to overcome it is a pretty dark and deep journey, and basically into yourself. And then you come through with the realization that, oh shit, we're in heaven. I've said this before. I truly believe we're in heaven. I just think we can make it more heaven-like, whatever you want to call heaven. Because in the long play of eternity, this is what we do. I don't think people's thought out eternity in their heads. I don't think people's played out forever, like never ending. Just imagine being able to do anything you want just by thinking about it. Just imagine a complete utopia and just frivolous pleasures all the time. How boring do you think that would get? So here we are having an experience, right? So it's beautiful, and I believe he should clarify what he means by life is suffering, or maybe he's still in some form of suffering in his life. But I think he holds too much stock into portraying life to be suffering, and there's no way around it. His own words, there's no way around it, but there is. Well, let me take that back, because he said the way that you can combat suffering is with responsibility, which I wholeheartedly agree with. But he also says that there is no way around the suffering, which there is a way around the suffering. I can help you do that if you want the help. Now we're going to get into Morgue and Hyperionism, and I have been watching this guy for, I believe, probably about 6-7 months now. I find a lot of his videos fascinating. I'm going to give you just him in a nutshell, like I did with Peterson, and then point out the flaws that is just mind-boggling to me that he does not see. Or maybe he does, I'm not sure. So he believes that reality is composed of minds called monads put together, and each monad helps create this reality, which is not, which it's all mind. So he is correct on that. And he talks about how I'm going to wait, and I'm just going to give you a rundown of this, and then I'm going to go deeper into it, because this is something that I do want to go deeper into, because I find a lot of what he says helpful and fascinating, but there's just the holes within what he says is just so staggering. You can't look past them or overlook them. So he believes that. He believes that we are, in his own words, we're the dreamer of dreams, which again I agree with. And he thinks that if we all come together, we can create a better dream, which I absolutely believe we can. We can bring paradise here, peace on earth. We can make it happen. And there's also a lot more. This is just skimming the surface with him and what he believes, and it's I agree and believe 80% of what he speaks. I just think he goes about it in a very peculiar way that pushes a lot of people that he could help out of the equation. Now, the things I disagree with him on and the flaws are the first one, and this is the only one that I feel like anyone should really need to hear, and it is this is the most damning and staggering. Well, actually, I'll save that for a second. I'll just the first one. He does not believe that you should have faith or belief in anything except for yourself. Now, I agree. You need to have faith and belief in yourself. You also have to have faith and belief in others. And he compares. Now, I don't want to portray it as something it's not. But he believes that you should not have faith in something higher than you, which you are where the buck stops at. So it is true, but I need you to fully understand this. You have to have faith and belief. Even if it is in yourself, you have to realize there's a higher power, your higher self, that's looking out for you every step of the way. It's guiding you. You have to have faith in that. Just like you have to have faith that tomorrow will come. Just like you have to have faith that, you have to have faith in reality, because it is a tricky relationship to where if there's no trust and faith in reality, then you're just going to be miserable. So when he claims that which I'm not for spirituality or religions, really just depends on which spirituality you're talking about. And he says the whole don't have faith in people want to have faith and belief in God and faith and belief in the universe, and you should not do that. It is, well, you don't realize you are God. You don't realize you are the universe. And I don't mean this in this new age petty complete bullshit, because you got to realize we're just speaking words. These are complete words that we made up. They have no value at all. I need you to realize that. But in the overall structure of it, that is the case. You are the universe and you are God. And I cannot stress enough, I don't mean this in this new age fucking wishy-washy bullshit terms. I mean literally. It's just not what you're perceiving God in the universe to be. That's the problem. So why would you not have faith and belief in that? And because your higher self is out there guiding and looking over you every time. You can consider that higher self the Father, and you are the Son, and time is the Holy Spirit. And since time doesn't really exist, it's a gradual progression into being your higher self, which you can consider the complete version of God. So why would you not have faith and trust in that? That's mind-boggling to me. And the other thing that just automatically just makes me kind of be like, man, what are you talking about? He believes that reality, now keep in mind what I just told you, right? He believes that the only way to do anything in reality is through reason, logic, and mathematics. And my counter to this is, do you understand a lot of what you say is not reasonable or logic? I really want you to understand that. There is nothing about reality that is reasonable or logic. Nothing. Nothing. Now, I would love to hear 5 examples of anyone that can give me that says, well, this is why reality is reasonable and logic. It's not. There's nothing logical or reasonable about it. No matter how you believe we got here, no matter what you think we're doing here, no matter what you believe, there is nothing reasonable or logical about it. So that's a weird approach to me, especially going by him saying reasonable and logic, and then him giving his whole spill and outlook. It's like you are contradicting yourself hugely. And then on the mathematics part, I don't think he understands that we have made mathematics up. We have made numbers up. On the grand scale of reality, there isn't, and I don't want to say there isn't because I don't know for sure. I could be wrong. But I don't feel like mathematics is part of the equation to formulating reality or what reality is about. And I don't believe it's composed of just pure mathematical numbers and logic and reason, because I believe it's composed out of nothingness, consciousness. So why do numbers need to be involved in that? Just my opinion. But I am going to do another video really about Morgue. Peterson, I might do a separate one just to put in the series, because I'm going to make a series, like I said, about a whole list of people, including Alan Watts, Ram Dass, David Goggins, Leo from actualized.org, Carl Jung, Nietzsche, Terence McKenna. I have quite an extensive list of people I want to cover, just to point you to the fact that you cannot take anyone and pretend you can look up to them, but don't put them on a pedestal and just assume they know the answers to everything. Like, it does not matter how good what they're telling you is. Like, that's why I tell people, don't believe me, don't trust me, go figure it out for yourself. I can help you be a better person. But when it comes down to seeing the mystical, metaphysical side of reality, and realizing how big of a miracle it truly is, that's something. It doesn't matter if I'm right. That's something you want to go out and experience for yourself. Don't let me take the joy out of it and you just assume I'm right and go along with it. So don't put anyone on a pedestal is the main issue. Don't put anyone on a pedestal, because if you put someone on a pedestal, you think you can't do better or you can't achieve that, and that's not the case at all. Even Jesus told you this. Anything I can do, you can do. And I'm telling you that because I'm just you talking to you. I'm you talking to you just like everybody else is you talking to you. So I think that'll end this video. Quite a bit longer than I anticipated it being. But I hope you guys enjoy. I will come. I don't know exactly when I'm going to start this series. Probably pretty soon. But it's just a game of form and a play of life. I'm you talking to you. And wake up. We'll fix it. Heaven on earth is the plan. Even though we're already in heaven, peace and some form of heaven is what needs to happen. I don't want it to be a perfect utopia, because it will get boring fast. I would like I said, universal basic income, housing, food, electricity, water, internet. People not judging each other on a bunch of things that mean nothing in the end. Just come together, and then that's not a perfect utopia. That's just how people should behave, and the things we should do to strive forward to the future, to make this place better. So it's not It's not something crazy. It's not a pipe dream. It's something that we absolutely can do. Talk to you guys later. Love you.